We, as a program, Equity Initiative, is very keen and very interested in trying to improve health equity for the whole region. Right now, we focus on ASEAN countries and China. And there are many reasons why we still have a lot of serious health inequity. For example, we still have imbalance of power between, even just start from the global level, different country groups, different balance of international politics. Come down to the country, there are many different power groups that also have different interests. And also, if we look into different categories, there are also a lot of people, vulnerable groups or disadvantaged population who don't have any power, if at all, to try to basically bring out their normal life, just to have a normal life. So we are in the region that, luckily, in most of the countries in our region, the economic growth seems to be good. Many countries have good 5%, 8% GDP growth, but the growth didn't grow or go to the people equally. There are some who benefit more, some who benefit less, and a lot of people who were left out. So even when we are growing, when we are improving, there are still a lot of things we can do better. And the Equity Initiative is a program that we first have to thank Atlantic Philanthropies, which is one of the key funder. I have to mention his name, Chuck Feeney, who was the person who donated money through the Atlantic Philanthropy. He's quite unique, actually. There was a book about him called The Billionaire Who Wasn't. Basically, he has $1 billion, but he donated all of his money to the charity. And he said that all his money should be spent within his lifetime. And we are one of the programs that benefit from Atlantic Philanthropies at the end of that program. And then the program also received co-funding from CMB Foundation, where the program is hosted now because Atlantic Philanthropy is closing down. So CMB is a US-based foundation, about 105 years old now. The name is China Medical Board, but actually it's a US foundation. Initially, they support medical care in China. That's why they call it China Medical Board, but later expand to Southeast Asia. And we had a lot of partners in the region, including in Indonesia. We launched this program in 2006 with the aim, like Prof. Yodi said, to have a 20 years program. We have funding to continue at least 15 years or longer, depends on how many people we enroll in the program. And we are one of the 7, what we call Atlantic Fellows program. So Atlantic Philanthropy has similar program to Equity Initiative, but also in other regions. In LSE, London School of Economics. In South Africa, there's an organization called Tekano with a few universities there. They have a program on racial equity at Columbia. They have a program on brain health equity at UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, and one in Melbourne on social equity. And all the 7 programs are loosely linked. Each program is separate, but we want to build the fellows who can work together across program in the longer term. And our theory of change is simple. Basically, we have fellowship program to strengthen capacity of the fellows who we try to recruit, but not just a fellow. We also try to build partnership with people who are not fellows, people who are active in the field, some leaders who already have done a lot in each of the countries. And we want to create what we call building or facilitating an equity community, where in each country we have equity committee to look at equity issues, try to identify potential channels or opportunities to improve equity. At the same time, across countries, we are looking at thematic issues that we could try to work together to improve across the country. A lot of issues are not just country specific. For example, if we talk about migration, or if we talk of a lot of environmental issues that impact health and health equity, these are things that need to be work together across country in the region. So we hope that over the longer term, we will together, fellows, partner communities, create system change, we call system change, so meaningful change at the system level for improving health equity in our region. I think in the interest of time, I will not go into the details of the vision mission. You have the document in front of you that would be able to show that. But I would say the key characteristic of the fellowship program, which is one of the components of the equity initiative, is this is a good learning opportunity. We bring fellows to meet with world-class faculty, key actors globally as well as regionally. The first year is an intensive program. We usually call our fellow a lifelong fellowship because once you're a member, you continue the member. But the first year is an intensive year where you have 6 weeks of in-person meeting. This means that about every 1 to 2 months you meet for a week. And within that week, it could be in Vietnam, could be in Harvard, could be somewhere that we organize the learning experience with the program, with the cohort. Each cohort has about 25 fellows, and basically, in addition to in-person meeting, we also provide some online, but that's still being developed and improved. And the program is fully funded. That means because of the budget we have, we can support all the travel expenses during the global learning trips or the activities. And we also have one component not listed here is a group project. The fellows are required to work together within country or across country on some health equity project that they think is important. And that would be an additional small part. We focus on experiential learning, means you go to the field, going to the community or going to different countries, to the place that you're not familiar with, different frame of thinking, trying to make you think out of the box as well as reflect back to your situation, your country back home. We try to mix the fellow. One cohort has 25, usually about half from the health sector, another half from non-health. They're from lawyer, media, reporter, different groups, so that you can learn from each other. And we also emphasize that changing health equity is not just within the health sector. A lot of things require finance ministry or some change in law or others. So you need to be able to work together across fields. And we add on the online blended learning as a third mode. And this is a 7 programs, Atlantic Fellow Program in other countries. If you're interested, it's on our website. This is a general frame for our what we call 6 events. The opening retreat, usually in Vietnam. Global Learning 1 depends on the country. I'll show some slides later. And all of these 6 events, we go over some knowledge and skill development. Here's an example from opening retreat, bonding between fellows, getting introduction to the theory of leadership, the basic knowledge about health equity. We have global learning, different cohort go to different place. We went to South Africa for some, India, or even Cuba, which people probably have heard of their socialized public health system, but also within a context of difficulty and very challenging, even though they have good health statistics, but still a lot of challenge there. Every year we send them to spend 1 week at Harvard, meeting with top global experts in the field, and also add on some skill building workshops during that global learning week. And we have Asia Trek to bring fellow back to learn about situation in the region. And we changed that. We had one year, the first year, we went to the border of Thai and Myanmar to look at the challenges of health and health equity there. We went to the second year, we took them to study about urban slums and urban health issues in Philippines. last year, oh, not in here, Indonesia, we went to NTT, and the fellow also spent some time living in a village, not much 1-2 nights, but still get the feeling and having no shower and others as part of learning about what health is not just about healthcare. This year they'll go to Bangladesh and hopefully have a chance to also visit the tension area, border of Bangladesh and Myanmar, where we have a biggest refugee crisis in the world at the moment. They also go to do some project together as part of their learning by doing project together. And we have an event called Project Accelerator, where they do working as a group to develop their projects, as well as we have some training that help them, public speaking, negotiation, some kind of how to work together, team building and others. And every year we have annual forum that we bring all the cohorts, different years together to try to get to know each other and also present their work in the field, some project work as well as some personal work that they work in their daily life. And usually we have a keynote speaker. First year was a Prime Minister Abhisit. We had last year was how come I forgot his name now? But he was a former provost of Harvard and also former president of Institute of Medicine in the U.S. Harvey Feinberg, Professor Harvey Feinberg. So the activities are not the whole year, not like a degree program, because this is for someone we expect to already finish their academic degree, but want to have more impact, trying to get into the real world. And this is just an example of the activities that different cohorts have done. So if you're interested, if anyone interested, our fellowship application is going on now. We will have the application deadline at the end of this month. Usually when we look for fellow, we look at the people who are under 45, sometimes up to 50 if they're really good. So age is not a cut-off, but more of a characteristic that we look at, because we want to mix also younger, older, to learn from each other. We want people who demonstrate some leadership in their work, people who have commitment to health equity or social justice in a broader term, because you have to interact with fellows from other countries to learn from each other. So English skills is necessary in a sense that at least you should be able to communicate and benefit from the program. If English is not good, then you go there and not benefit enough. And we require that if you join the program, you have to attend all 6 events, 6 weeks. And when we select, usually we need to balance, like I mentioned to you, to have a good mix of fellows so they can learn from each other. So sometimes some people apply, we tell them, okay, we want, because you're very good, but maybe you have to wait for next year or others, because we want to get a good mix. And when we look at the mix, we balance gender, balance countries and sectors and diverse background of the fellow, so that allow people to join. But we have 50 years, 15 years from now. So we keep the pool of the applicants, of the potential fellows, and then try to continue to enroll them. I'll just skip this, but this is our Indonesian fellows from the 1st to the 4th cohort. We have 4 cohorts now, and they're from very diverse background. And if you're interested, their bio short blurb about their characteristic is on our website. And I think that's it for me now. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.